you're also frustrated by the last Warlock nerf and want to look out for a new class as I did, then I have the right build for you, coming from the clunky Warlock to the Sumi Flicker Strike Storm Shred Druid. The Storm Shred Druid is the best Druid speed farm build out there and can farm insanely fast. Although it's not the best push build and is behind the companion build, it can still clear pit and tower in the 120 range. But the best thing is the Storm Shred Druid farms T12 for blends content so fast thanks to movement speed stacking through Hurricane, Lightning Storm and Werewolf. Will zoom and dash around the target. And because the movement speed from skills are now multiplicative, we have a far higher cap than our 200% with only gear. And the best thing is you don't even need to care about biggest pain point from Druid build cost, because our talisman that will handle that on his own. So we're gonna go now into the build overview of this build. If you're already interested in the build, make sure to watch until the end of the video, and you can also check out my chart planner. You can also post in the comments down below if you were a Warlock player like I was and switched to Druid, or which class or build do you play. You can also check out my twitch.tv/Angren for instant updates on my newest build, and also leave a like and a sub and a comment if you like the video and want to support me. Hey guys, what's up? Angren with my first Druid build, the Storm Shred build, and let's go directly into the build overview, how this build will work. First of all, our main part of this build is the Storm Shepherd set, because with the Storm Shepherd set, we don't need any resource to trigger our skills. As you can see, I just can cast my skills without even having a resource. That's because Storm skills no longer cost spirit to cast, but casting a Storm skill consumes all available spirit. Consume the spirit to get us more Storm damage. So that means we want to have more regeneration of our primary resource, because the more resource regeneration we have, the more damage we also do. I will come to that later, how you can maximize your resource generation for more damage. So make sure to watch this until the end. In addition, when we have the full set, we have a 20% chance to double cast and also a chance to triple cast, and then do 100% the 300% more damage. That's a huge multi. Later on, if you have the mythic seal with -1 required set bonus, then you can also play the best set of Druid, the Old Mountain and the Storm Shepherd. But because it's kind of rare, I will just go through a general overview of the build, and then we also have the Banish Lord Talisman. So also after our set, the next important piece is the Shred with Storm Shred. So how can we utilize our Storm Shred? How can we maximize that damage? How can we make this small thing work? So in order to get more out of Storm Shred, we want to go as fast as we can. That's the reason why we're also going to take Blood Howl with the movement speed. We're going to take Hurricane with the weaken and movement speed, and we're also going to take Lightning Storm with the movement speed. So we are way faster to go around. So that also means we can toggle these three, and they will always be casted, because we don't have any resource cost, because it will always fill up. So we can go with that infinitely. Also, the Cataclysm, that will also deal a good amount of damage. That will get us constant stacks of ferocity. Will also deal a lot of lightning damage. And the rest of that damage are just some damage multis through our aspects and our uniques. So, but now a really important topic is how can we maintain our resource? And I will show you something now. So after I casted my whole combination, we're gonna have so much resource regeneration. Why we have so much regeneration? I can show this in a minute. So as you can see, my resource just jumps forth and back. So we have the Malefic Crescent. Okay, but what does the Malefic Crescent do? Blood Howl is automatically cast when you shapeshift into werewolf, and every 4 seconds while in werewolf form. Basically, we have our blood howl active all the time. So what does it mean? Because with Spirit Howl, we will instead restore 1 spirit for every 1% life that would have been healed. So that means we are gonna healing now a spirit instead of a life. So that's also the reason why our resource always jumps back and forth, and that's why we're gonna get most of our damage through the Storm Shepherd's set, and we're gonna get a huge damage multi through that. So make sure to have the Malefic present, and you can kind of craft this pretty easily if you just go for a normal amulet on ancestral base and then just make it into a unique. I think you have like 2 or 3 outcomes, but yeah, it was pretty easily get one of those. And also the blood howl will give us more spirit back with healing for 5 seconds after casting blood howl. Restore 1 spirit each time you hit an enemy. It's doubled after recreated. So yeah, that's also another huge topic. So that's the reason why we get so much resource back. But also we have the Tibolt's Will, and we're gonna get 50 prime resource after we got unstoppable and for 5 seconds after. So how do we get unstoppable? We're gonna get unstoppable through our Earthen Bulwark, and our Earthen Bulwark is casted through the Proc rune after we spend 300 of our maximum resource. And yeah, this happens like all the time. We are always on our barrier, and we are also always unstoppable, getting these nice primary resources. You can also take things like spirit regeneration on these things here, but it is not that important because with blood howl, yeah, we have already enough of our additional spirit. So now next big topic is how do we get so fast, because this is a speed farm. We want to go as fast as possible. First of all, you need to get movement speed as a GA, as affix, and also as your temp as a GA. This will give you around 78 movement speed. If you're going to crit it, you will have kind of 100% movement speed alone through your boots. And then, because this is additive movement speed, they added now multiplicative movement speed. So this adds on top of each other. So normal movement speed can still go only to 100% plus, but the multiplicative movement speed can go way higher. So you can move even faster. And that's also the reason why we're going to play with things like movement speed, because this will give us 10x movement speed, not 10 plus movement speed, 10x. This can go way higher than the normal movement speed. That's also the reason why we're going to play with the Hurricane Weaken and the movement speed, because we're going to get another source. In the past, it was kind of useless because we were always on our max, and these nodes were just useless, but they changed them all now. And we're also going to get more movement speed through blood howl, and these 3 effects are always on because we can toggle our Cataclysm for movement speed. We can toggle our Hurricane because we have no resource cost, and our blood howl is casted, as you can see right now, every time and to 100% because of our movement speed, because of our unique amulet. So that's the reason why we're going to do so much damage. So, and okay, the next big topic is now the Signet of Pelgate. I'm still testing this out because this is kind of the new hottest thing that people are discovering now, that Signet of Pelgate with its unique effect will get an additional damage increase effect on the bosses. So we will do more damage to bosses, and it's permanently. And every time you're going to freeze them, you add this on top of each other. So this will get added. But keep in mind, for bosses, it's only when you stagger them. And you also need to stagger them with your freeze. You cannot stagger them with some other kind of stun or something. So you need to stagger them with freeze, and then it will take a lot of more damage while it is staggered. So that's also the reason why all of the top leaderboards are now taking this ring. As you can see, the first one has it, then the second one should have it, the third one will have it. So yeah, everyone will have it. So you need to freeze the enemies. How can you freeze the enemies? First of all, with the Seal rune, the wolf companions are freezing, and on top of that, you can get your charms with chance to freeze the enemies. So as you can see, I have a chance to freeze them here, and also should have another chance to freeze them here. The best one would be to get even more chance to freeze them, and then when you're a little bit lucky, you can just go and freeze them to the stagger point, and then they will take a lot of damage. You can also try to kind of combine this with your Azeroth, because Azeroth will deal all of the damage that you done as frozen damage while they're frozen, and then gets like 100% multi on it. But yeah, I still didn't get it to work. So write it in the comments down below if you made Azeroth combo work. And another big topic is for a lightning storm. To get the maximum out of it, it will snapshot your attack speed. So just cast it when you have the highest amount of your attack speed. So just get all of your ferocity stacked. So always like deactivate and activate it when you are notifying that you're going to do more damage. And one big piece is after your wolves critical strike, then you're going to get 40% more attack speed. So then you should like deactivate your lightning storm and then activate it again to snapshot the attack speed, and then have more damage with your lightning storm. So these are kind of the big important topics. The last one is also how can you fix your defense, because that's kind of always a problem. It is pretty easily with the aspect of Clint's Anvil. So we have maximum resolve of 2, and we're also going to get up to 4% damage reduction per resolve. You want to stack resolve on every item you can. Get resolve stacks on your chest, get resolve stacks on your helmet, on your amulet, on your pants. Get resolve stack on any piece here you can, so you will get a lot of damage reduction. I think you can get around to 80% or something. So that's a pretty important part to get your defense going, and you can also take the aspect of dominance, crowd controlling an enemy grants to resolve. So that's also the reason, or that's the plan, how we're gonna build up our resolve. Yeah, and after we talked about how the build is set up, let's gonna show you the skills and how they will work with the rotation. And honestly, it's pretty simple. Just activate your hurricane, and then activate your wolves, then your cataclysm, then jump in, and then your lightning storm. And as I said, when you're notified that your wolves crit and that you have the maximum attack speed, deactivate your lightning storm, activate again for the maximum speed. So that's pretty important. But that's it. Just then hold down your shred and then just attack the targets. And as one thing you can see, I'm just pressing my mouse button and it will seek the target on its own. So yeah, I can show you this again. I'm just pressing my mouse and it's seeking its target on its own. That's because you need to activate the control options or kind of disable the mouse movement. Normally you will with disable mouse movement on. So that means that you will always target the enemy before you, but if you can deactivate this, you will just run to the enemies and then you will seek them. So that's giga nice for sure. In the end, you only need to kind of cast your cataclysm and then you can just run and cast shred. Pretty important and pretty nice. Okay, next up for our aspects, our gear, some stats you need to focus on. So first of all, our uniques, we got the Hair of Perdition, we got the Ring of Starless Skies, you can craft them at the jewelry, you can get these from the Mythic Tribute, and you can also craft them from the upgrade from the Amalgamation, and then either get your Boons to craft them, or yeah, just drop them in like Undercity or something. And also, we have the Signal of Paragon. I think you can get this from pretty anywhere. And the Malefic Crescent is found by Astaroth, I think. I will post in the comments down below where you can find it. And yeah, I'll just go for the way. Just find a normal unique and then turn it into an ancestral unique. We also have the Talisman with Banished Lord Talisman. So after we spend 275 of our primary resource, we're going to get 4 stacks of our power, and then we're gonna deal more damage with our critical strikes, a stack of overpower. So that's also pretty nice. So I'm also like thinking of getting the aspect that will give us more overpower stacks with the tile aspect. So this would give me 4 more overpower stacks, but I still think about it. You can also post your setup of this build in the comments down below. Okay, what did we take for our aspects? First of all, the Archdruid's aspect. So we're gonna get more critical strike damage as a werewolf, pretty nice. The channeling aspect, and while we're channeling a skill, all damage is increased by 70% because we're constantly channeling our lightning storm. We're gonna get this percent damage all the time, so that's really nice. Yeah, take this also, and then also the crushing aspect. So while we're fortified, we're gonna deal more increased damage, and also cleanse anvil, as I said, for the resource stacking and also aspect of dominance. Tibalt's will is also found by a pretty any boss. This will give us the crazy resource. For your affixes, it is pretty important. Willpower and also weapon damage, but get crit strike chance to close to 100%. This is pretty important. And then also get as much crit strike damage as you can get. I got this on my weapon. I got this on my offhand. I think I also got it on my gloves. So as you can see, I try to get this on all of my gear pieces. You can also fit in some attack speed, but we already have like enough attack speed. For defensive stats, get your maximum resource stacks, also masterwork it, and then get some resistance to all elements, some spirit regeneration. But we have so much depth with our resolve that we don't need that much of our defense anyway. However, put in your offhand, it is pretty important to get a crit strike chance as a GA, and then get crit strike multi, willpower, weapon damage, and crit strike chance. So this will give you in total, I think, 15-30% crit strike chance on just from both of your weapon sources. Can be kind of hard, but yeah, try to get this. And for rune words, get the Monise, because we're constantly casting mobility skills, because our shred is mobility skills. We're gonna always get the wolf companions and also get your Pokwe, so we're always gonna get our barrier up. For your gems, get diamonds on 2 pieces. I also like to get a ruby for the fire explosions, and on your normal just get the fire ones for willpower, and on your weapons you should get the topaz for more lightning damage multiplier. For talisman, as I said, max of Storm Shepherd set, or if you have the -1, then also get the Mount set. For your affixes, get GA, or like Storm skills, Werewolf skills, but Storm skills are better because this will buff all of your skills here, and also chance of freeze, maximize this on your things, and also like max resource could be also kind of cool. And as your a unique charm, get the Banished Lord Talisman. You can also kind of get the Dirge of Aradaya, but honestly, I think the Banished Lord Talisman is better. You will get more spirit with that. And for masterwork sources, always get your crit on crit strike damage, you crit on your resolve stacks. So for our skill tree, we're gonna go with Shred. We're gonna go with the Storm Shred, so it will become a Storm skill. We're gonna either go for berserking, so we're gonna get more movement speed. If we already have enough berserking or another source of berserking, we also gonna go with healing. So we're gonna heal ourselves up every time. This is also really good. You can just kind of switch it in occasions. If you're on your Speedfarm occasion, like Anacid or something, go for berserking. If you're gonna try to push for pits, go for healing. Then for our left side, go for cast speed. So for our lightning storm, we max it out. We're also gonna go for additional strikes. We're gonna go for movement speed. For movement speed, we're gonna go as a werewolf skill, as also hero of the storm, so we can cancel and re-enable. For our defensive skills, 5 points into Blood Howl, as also Spirit Howl, the healing, And the movement speed, this gives us the great interaction of more movement speed and more spirit for our Storm Shepherd. Cyclone armor for more damage reduction, and also we're gonna get more damage from our cyclone armor. The rest is not that good to take. Then also get increased radius, so our knock is increased radius, and also get resistance, so we're gonna get more from our cyclone armor. 1 point to other bulwark that gets triggered through the rune word. Get versatile bulwark, so we're gonna get more sector free solve, and also get unstoppable, so we're gonna get unstoppable, and also fortify and healing, so we're gonna heal ourselves up. So next up, for companion skills, 1 point to wolves, the thrill of the hunt, and also the attack speed, so we're gonna get 40% more attack speed. This is pretty good. You don't need to take any of these because these are not important for us. For the wrath skills, 1 point into a hurricane, get versatile with Jericho, so we can cast it as on or off skill. Weaken, so then we get weakened, and also movement speed, so we'll have more movement speed. For ultimate skills, we gotta take Cataclysm with the severe storm, with duration, and with ferocity. I'm still thinking about if I can maybe change something up. We can go for something other, like Petrify or something. Yeah, Cataclysm will give us a pretty good combo, but yeah, I will test it out. Maybe I will find a way for better utilization. So for our Paragon board, we're gonna take Spirit as a glyph in our first board, also get Tenacity and get the max value of our Spirit. For your second board, go for Lust for Carnage, for more Spirit Crystallization and also increased damage. Go for Keeper, so we're gonna get the good crit strike damage and werewolf damage in here. For next board, go for Ancestral Guidance. This is kind of always up. And also get your Electrocution with Harmony and Guidance. You can also think about switching this up with Keeper to get the coral damage bonus. Then we're also gonna go for second last board, the Thunderstruck with our Earth and Sky and Stormcaller for more damage on this side with these magic nodes here. And for your last board, go for the Constricting Tendril, so we're gonna deal more damage against poison enemies, or have a chance to poison enemies. That is really important. And also get your Dominate, so you're also gonna get more of your nature's will. So we also need more intelligence for that. And then start to get things like your max life, total armor, your max life, here your resistance to total armor, then get your resistance here, some core skill damage, and then max out all of your leaf ranges here. For your mercenaries currently are for here with more reces and more damage. For reinforcement, Subo. But you can also take Subo as the first one with crit strike damage. For Spirit Boons, I got advantageous beasts, but only for movement speed. Later on, you can go for your prickle skin. For Eagle, I got the Even Wrath. For the Wolf, I got Calamity. And for Snake, I got Before the Storm and Masochistic. And if you're gonna go for Masochistic, you can also go with the healing on your shred if you want to. Go for the Berserk on your shred, you can also go for Overload in your increased cast speed, so you're even faster. So I hope I could show you a pretty cool build guide that will be one of the best Speedfarm builds for Druid. It's also a lot of fun. It makes a lot of fun. Yeah, if you have more questions, please ask them in the comments down below. And also, if you like this video, please leave a like and a sub. Would appreciate it a lot. And until next video, bye.